In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing who answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders, 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com. In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing who answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders, 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com.
All right. Good morning, my friends. Good morning. Another edition of the Revenue Ronin community space here. Thanks everyone for being here. Today's topic is going to be a good one. Uh, Sales and marketing mastery. What's your plan? So, and these are MBA masterminds, with the Revenue Ronin today and with other Ronins and, non-Ronins. There's really two types of people in my book. There's customers and then there's potential customers, right? So and no in my book just means not right now. That's all that means. And so, people will come around when they're ready. And that's completely fine. And that's nothing you can control. And so that's kind of my perspective that I have. Not everyone's going to be a good fit for your offer. It's not the right timing for them. They don't have the right budget, or, they just don't have an immediate need, a pain point, or they're not the right decision maker. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. And so that's okay. That's okay. So you just have to be okay with knowing that, hey, look, not everyone's going to be a good fit for you right now, and that's fine. But what the data tells us is actually 3% of people are ready to buy what you have to offer right now. 3%. So your job every single day is to continue looking for those 3% of people ready to buy. And the other 97% of people, you're just going to continue to nurture, right? You're going to continue to nurture. You're going to continue to educate them on your email list. You're going to continue to add value. You're going to continue to show up in spaces and add value, connect with them. You could connect with them offline, get on video calls, the whole nine yards. So just know that, again, in my mind, there's, customers and then there's potential customers. And that's the way I think of business, right? That's the way, and that's what I really train and teach my clients and my students to think the same way. And when you have that mentality, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Perfect example, I just launched a new ads campaign for a client yesterday. And now that we have all the tracking dialed in, the reporting dialed in, standardized, everything's tracking from A to Z, full funnel visibility. 90% of companies don't do it this way just because either the A, they don't know, or B, they think they know, but things get broken because that happens all the time. But they already started getting, leads coming in, customers coming in. And that's pretty shocking just after you start launching the campaign in a day. Like that's pretty rare. So I'm super excited, super pumped for that. And but yeah, welcome everybody. Let me get my co-host Andy up here. And good to see you, Yvonne, Paul, Jane, Lucia, Antonio, Stardris, Every Blossom. Good to see everyone. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Please like and repost the space. We're going to go till 7:45 here. So thanks for being here. And yeah, let's check in with our co-host Andy. Andy, welcome.
I gotta find the unmute button. Hi, good afternoon, good Thursday, wherever you are. It's a state holiday here in California today. So if you are trying to go to the bank or get mail, probably not going to have any today. Let's see, what else? What's your plan? What is your plan? It's a fascinating thing. I love the 3% rule. It's pretty much true everywhere in just about everything. 90% of the things you try to do, you're going to be unsuccessful at, and 30% you're going to. I love the Olympics. I absolutely, I love the ideals. I love the competition, and mostly, I love that it is the pinnacle of most athletic achievement. If you say, okay, look, you could get all of these things or a gold medal. Almost everybody would choose a gold medal. And there was a short track speed skater. They showed her, okay, get ready, and she's going, and she slips and falls. Bummer. Out of that event for the Olympics. And then the next event was a team event, and she's going along, and she's in the team event, she slips and falls, boom, team's out, right? The point I'm trying to make is that 3% is on both sides. The 3% rule is on whether you are doing the thing or whether you're ready to have the thing happen, right? Each one of us wants to buy something today. Every single one of us. And if the right offer came to us, we'd be like, oh yeah, sure, of course I'll buy that. But on the other end, there's 100 things that would show up and we'd be like, yeah, no. Just think about how many emails you get every day that you think, oh, I don't want that. No, not today. No. How many ads when you're scrolling on TikTok or Instagram? How many ads do you see and you're like, yeah, no, scroll. You're the same. We're the same. We're all the same. And so to be an Olympic champion, everything has to come together. You have to be in the right sport at your peak performance on that day in that event. And if any of those things are out of alignment, someone else is going to win. And that's why I love it so much, because the pressure is on. The expectations are on. For almost all the athletes, it is a mental game at that point. I watched the half pipe where they come down and they go up and jump and then they go back and forth, and half of them made it to the end, and the other half fell somewhere along the way. And every one of them, when they fell, they had the same physical reaction, and the physical reaction was, oh my gosh, I just screwed up. Oh my gosh, I just screwed up. Because we all know, if you take your best shot and somebody else wins, you can live with that. But if you take your best shot and you fall and get disqualified, oh, that's going to eat at you for a long time. So that's what I love about the Olympics. It's almost impossible to tell me that it's scripted, it's fake. No, I'm not buying it. You could see the emotion when they win. You can see the emotion when they screw up, and you can see the emotion when they lose. And I don't care who you are, you can't fake that. So if you want to be great, you have to be willing to be in that type of an environment. And that's why I love the Olympics. So sales and marketing to me are just the same.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Yeah, I mean, the Olympics, it's a global stage, and it's I enjoy watching it because yeah, it's raw, it's real, like you said. I don't know, I haven't heard anyone say it's scripted, but that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's raw, it's real. You see the highs, you see the lows, and competing, right? Like I really love to compete. And one thing about, being in business relating to sports, it's very similar. It's very similar. You got to be on top of your game, right? Just like you are competing physically, in business, you're competing mentally, right? You have to be mentally strong. You have to be mentally prepared for meetings. You're going into a meeting with high, executives, right? You got to be on your game. I mean, I'm sure this resonates with Annie and many others, but it's serious. Business is serious. Okay, yeah, business can be fun, but business is a very serious sport. It's a very serious sport. It's mentally draining, but which is why you need a plan. And that's why today's topic is so important because, companies don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And one of the first things I do, whether, you're on this journey personally or professionally, is you need to at least have a plan, a 90-day plan. Maybe you don't need a 1 year plan, but at least you need a 90-day plan. And that's where I start first, it starts with the planning. And once you have a plan, then you got to execute the plan. And majority of the time when it comes to working with companies is you'll realize that once you start executing the plan with clients in particular, you'll be responsible for certain things and they'll be on the hook for other things. And it can get very gray area at times where, hey, you start doing more work than you were, contracted to do. It's out of scope, right? So you really have to revise that plan. You have to revise the scope of work, go back to the client, get more budget, get more money. Otherwise, look, no one's going to be coming after you and saying, "Oh, look, Andy, uh, gosh, we got to pay you more money, Andy, because, we see how hard you're working. And you know what, Andy, we're just going to give you a bonus because you're working so hard and, we're getting things done. But you know what? We're going to pay you more." No, that doesn't happen very often. The reality is they're going to take as much as they can, and they're not going to be proactive about it. So you really have to be strong in what you deliver and the value you offer, and make sure you communicate that and manage expectations accordingly because they will walk all over you. Okay, they will walk all over you if you let them. This is the reality. This is the reality. So this is why you have a plan. You got to stick to the plan. And if the plan changes, then you got to make sure you're on board with it and the client is on board with it. Very critical. Very critical. And then it's all about executing the plan. Now you can deviate with from the plan. No problem. Things change, priorities change. Happens all the time. But you just have to make sure you're in continuous alignment, just like we are personally. You have to make sure you're in alignment with your prospects and your customers on projects as well. Very critical. Very critical. So I see we have a couple hands up, so I want to go to those hands. Let's go over to Timo, and then welcome to the stage, Katie. Good to see you. I tagged you, Katie, on a post, I think a week or two ago when you were on the space about the wins, and I highlighted you. I don't know if you saw that, but anyways, just so everyone knows, these spaces are recorded. I record a Zoom meeting of these spaces. I have my laptop here on my lap, and then I take the transcript from the space, and then I create content around it. And I even upload it to YouTube. I even upload it to Spotify, and I even upload it to you know, which automatically goes to, Apple Podcasts. So, these are evergreen spaces, they're public spaces, but I just want to let you guys know, like, that's how I create my content for the day is I get the transcript from each Zoom recording, and then that helps me do my content atomization of all the platforms. So you may get tagged in a post if you come up and contribute, and would really appreciate it. So yeah, let's go to, oh, Timo dropped down. Okay, he's scared of the transcript. No worries. Let's go over to Katie for a couple minutes here. Katie, welcome.
Yes, because even though I am 30 minutes late to my son's rugby game, better late than never. I battled with myself because I said to my son, I might not be able to make it today. And then because I have 101 things to do in terms of, business stuff and things like this. And then I felt that pressure and that guilt just at home because I work from home. And then I was like, oh no, because I'm a single parent. Like, I don't want him to think that no one's going to show up. And I felt bad. So I just shut my laptop down and here I am. Anyway, at least he gets to ride home with his mom, but I don't know how I'm going to get in here. But anywho, what's your plan? Something I recognize, I'm just going to have to push this buzzer. This is how you know that I'm absolutely telling the truth. Yeah, I'm like, hello. They've got. Was my sister the? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. Yep.
Oh, okay. This is like Fort Knox. I don't know how to get in. Enter flat number. This is a joke. Seriously, if you've got kids, I should film this. At least this is a recorded space so my son knows, Anywho, there's a bell. Oh, shit. Okay, excuse my language. So, anywho, I can't. Do you know what? I give up. Do you know what? I don't give up. This is real time, real life problems. So basically, in a nutshell, oh my God, they're not even opening the gates. I can't believe this. In a nutshell, something that I learned this week. It's all right. When there's a will, there's a way. So even if I have to climb over a damn wall, I will get in. Oh, excuse me, please. So I mute my mic. Excuse me, I'm here for the rugby. Hello. No, he's ignored me. Yay. Okay, they're opening the gates. They're opening the gates. Isn't that so funny? This is real time, real life. Okay, so one thing I learned this week is to always trust your gut and trust your intuition and your instincts. Because, 1 second. Hello. Where do I go for the rugby? Oh my God. Where? Oh my God. Where do I go for the rugby? Oh, wait, thank you. Thanks. Oh my God, how embarrassing is that? I sound so British. Okay, so I was on a Zoom call, or course, I should say, sorry. I was on this Zoom course and because we are getting ready to pitch to my company, OWHL, is getting ready to pitch to a huge broadcaster and production studio, et cetera, et cetera. So long story short, there's other companies there that are also doing the same. And I was put into like a mini cohort or what do you call it? Like these breakout rooms or what have you. And so long story short, there was a couple, very good, very nice, very cool, that were in there. And I was just asking a couple of questions about this person's business and so on and so forth. And then, because I was genuinely interested, because also just because we have an opportunity to pitch to this production company, it's also great to network and see how we can collaborate together. This man, let me tell you, gave me the heebie-jeebies for real life. Everything that I discussed or put out there or was enthusiastic about or, what have you. And I was like, hang on a minute. And then they started asking questions about my company. They're not regular questions in such a way that I'm like, why asking me that? It's almost not because I was assuming they were going to steal my idea or my concept, which is impossible because it's trademarked and I have all the intellectual property and everything else. And, I am my company, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just like, oh, but it was a lesson learned because you know what? I shut up. I shut my mouth. I was polite. I was nice. I divulged, certain information that was necessary and relevant, but I didn't give everything away. And I said to myself, this is my experience. This is going to be a phenomenal potential strategy moving forward for my company, and I'm not going to let a jerk off ruin that. So that's my plan now, is to listen to my gut Keep going, keep pushing forward, and don't let people steer or veer you off direction or off course of what your main focus is. And landing here, I've arrived at the rugby. I can see my son, but he hasn't seen me yet. I get to see his face because he'll be so happy. Thank you for being here with me.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. Yeah, real time. I love the quote. It's very timely because if there is a will, there is a way. And, Katie just demonstrated that real time. And that's really how you should be treating your business and your focus. And Alex Hormozy has a quote that I saw in a video. He's like, look, you're going to have to brute force your way into, success, right? There, like really it's just brute force, nonstop. And yeah, like you gotta, take care of your health along the way. I've been reminded of that recently, really, really more adamant this last 3 months here. And so, and yeah, I'm sure your son will be happy to see you. And thanks for tapping in, Katie. And yeah, like don't veer off of, your path. Yes, be open to collaboration, be open to feedback, be open to different perspectives. But if it's really in your heart and Mhm.
Oh, I was just going to say, I can see him, but he's not seeing me, and you're absolutely right. You keep going. What's up? This is the best joy ever. Sorry, I just wanted to. Well, it's better late than never. Would I let you down? No. Exactly. Amen. I got you, Bobby.
And that's what it's all about, folks. Once in a while, you gotta just shut down the laptop and be there for your kids. So Katie just demonstrated that real time here. So I'm sending you a lot of love and light, Katie. Wishing all the best. Enjoy the rugby game, and thanks for tapping in as always. And love what you're building. And again, I saw one of your video interviews a couple weeks ago. That was great. That was the first time I saw you on camera. So, but yeah, enjoy your day, Katie. Thanks for tapping in. It's the afternoon in the UK over there, and yeah, thanks for tapping in. So let's jump over to Nino, who we haven't heard in a while. Nino is a fellow Ronin, and just an overall great human being. He's been on a great journey this last, 2 years that he's been on, that I've known him on X here, and he's always up to something good, always up to something positive. And yeah, so Nino, check in here. How's it going, man? Welcome.
Hey, how's it going? You know what? First of all, thank you for the kind words because you didn't have to say that. So I really appreciate what you just, shared. Here's the thing is like everything that you're saying, Justin, right? When it comes to success, because success is never a straight line, right? You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. And then also your personal life, right? You're going to have setbacks. And for me, like you said, the last couple of years, but this is something that I've been doing prior to being a Ronin, prior, coming into this platform, but coming into like these spaces, I always wanted to learn. And here I am, I'm going to be 56 years old. And the thing is, the number one commodity for me is time. But we're all busy, right? We're all having to be there for other people that we care and love. But the one thing is taking care of yourself. Obviously, you guys know that I'm, health and wellness life coach, a fitness coach, and a life coach. So there's a lot of demand, and I'm getting busier and busier. And I do have certain programs, but then sometimes something unique comes. And to me, that's a great place for me to learn when it comes to, charging people, because it is time. And I bring a lot of that because of all the research that I've done and what worked for me. So like what you're saying resonates with me. And it goes through with a lot of people in this space here. Right. The successes that we're having or we're trying to have, it doesn't happen overnight because 99% of the work that we've done, no one really sees. They only see that 1%. And that's literally what's happening right now to me, that people are recommending, hey, go see Nino because of, first of all, who I am as a person, because a lot of us here are very empathetic. We want to see other people's success. But for me, it's always going to be putting me first. because this way I'm able to, fill up the cup. And that's why when I come into these spaces, that's what I'm able to do. People are texting me, well, Nino, you know what? I don't have a plan. I don't know what to do. I don't have time. So I literally, physically, while I was listening, is putting my documents in order, what has priority. Because to me, if I have things visually in order, then my mind is in order. Because when you come home and you're like, oh my God, my house is a mess, I have to do this, and then someone calls you and we're all busy. So what I try to do is utilize my time where it brings value to me. If it's being organized, if it's, doing my health, going for my walk, eating the right foods. That's why I got to the health and wellness, because it's something that we can control. And listen, my DMs are always open. For you, Justin, I know I've reached out to you because of, your health issues. And for me, it's giving people hope. And that's the number one thing, a plan. A lot of these people that I talk to don't have a plan or a purpose. And the first thing I tell them, create a schedule. And then wherever gaps there are, we'll make little changes, because it's not about changing everything all at once. It's just changing that 1% every day. And it literally takes a month to create healthy habits. But yeah, I'm just excited to be in this space here. And I feel like you guys are a little extension of my family, because I know for sure that I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you, Justin, and other people. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nino. And yeah, I love the quote you said about, you got to help yourself first. Like put you first so you can help others. Like I couldn't that really, rings true to me right now, especially on the health side. So yeah, thank you for that, Nino. And then the other thing is um the small things, daily, the small habits you change daily. Because look, like, if you want a whole entire transformation, like you can go work with Nino for like a whole weekend, pay him a lot of money, and you'll experience like transformation in a whole weekend. Or you can start off small, work with him for, a couple hours. He'll put together a plan for you, and then you'll make these small incremental habitual changes that will compact over time, and you'll really be able to see transformation in your life health-wise, you know. And so yeah, really really appreciate the kind words, Nino, and it's a good reminder for all of us. And something else too, it's like this is what I do in my business too, is and how it relates to us individually when we're making personal transformations, however small they are. I start with one particular service. For example, if they're just getting into ads, they've never run ads before, they need ads, they already have a converting offer organically, we introduce retargeting ads. Now, why retargeting ads? Because retargeting ads is low-hanging fruit. It's the smallest opportunity to get back in front of people who visited your website who didn't convert, right? They're not customers yet, but they know about you. And so retargeting ads are really powerful. They're cost effective. Usually they cost a lot less than, running regular Google search ads or, Facebook ads. Just retargeting ads and how you can easily set them up yourself. You can figure out how to do it yourself, or pay me to do it. It's up to you or my team. But the point is you put some tracking code on your website, and let's say you want to retarget ads with Facebook. Great. You put the retargeting pixel on your website, and then as that audience grows, then Facebook will retarget those people who visited your website. So there's a higher click-through rate because people already, have maybe seen you, they've been on your website, they know about you, and there's a higher likelihood that they're going to convert. So yeah, and then I get in with one service, right? And then I can offer them other services. So now that we're starting to get some results with retargeting ads, then they're like, oh, okay, well, I want to run some Google search ads now. Or, hey, I want to, focus more on video marketing. Okay, great. We can help out with that, right? So to Nino's point, you get in the door with one thing, right? What is their biggest pain point? What is uh the plan that will give you the quickest win, right? Because you want to focus on short-term wins to gain trust. Okay, this is a pro tip. Whatever you can do for the person personally or for their business, that's going to get them to a win the quickest That's the plan you want to really emphasize. And like Nino said, you can give them the whole, you know, the full boat if you want that. If they have budget, great. We'll do the whole transformation. No problem. You got 30 grand? That's what it costs for me to do the full transformation in 90 days for their business. It's $30,000. Now, I don't have as many of those 30,000 deals as I do as the lower stuff, and that's okay. It's not for everyone. But some people, that's why you need to have always at the same time, you need to always have your high ticket, your mid ticket, and your low ticket offers. Always. 100%. You need to have these dialed in. You need to have them planned out. You need to have them on a one sheet, and you need to be able to pull them out of your back pocket at any time to meet people where they're at. And you will get some people looking at your high ticket offers. They will look at it. I always start with high ticket. Oh, you don't have that budget? No worries. Well, we can get you started with what's your budget? Oh, okay, 5 grand a month. Okay, well, we can get you started with some retargeting ads, some email marketing, and this. How does that sound? Okay, that sounds good, Justin. Okay, great. They're not ready for 30 grand. No worries. Right? So you always got to provide an offer to meet people where they're at, just like you do individually with coaching. Um, and then I do want to shout out, hopefully she's still here. Danielle, where is she? Yes, she's here. So she had a great line. I saw her video on LinkedIn the other day. She had a great line I really loved. I want to share it with you. In one of her video interviews, I believe in alignment more than I believe in titles. Again, I believe in alignment more than I believe in titles. And this really hit me hard. It's like, wow, like that was so powerful. And yeah, it's all about alignment, both personally and then in your business, right? And you have to make sure that you're in full alignment with your clients. And that word alignment is what it's all about. Like this year for me, and I hope for you guys as well. I know Will's been talking about alignment a lot, no drifting, right? We got to make sure we drift. So we got to, stay focused and aligned. And so, yeah, I just wanted to highlight that for you, Danielle. Okay, she's coming up now. Good, good, good. Excuse me. Still getting over this cold. But yeah, thank you so much, Danielle, for coming up here. Let's go over to you. I don't see any hands up. Let me just double check here. Yes.
Just interject real
Yes,
quick.
please,
Okay,
please,
go ahead.
Nino. Yes.
Yeah, no, so with the higher ticket items, those are the things that I'm working on because as more people come, depending where they are, like what you just said, right? What resources do they have? And then also what it's going to take for me, because once again, for me, the number one commodity is my time. And I'm letting people know, like, hey, this is, so you kind of have to let people know, this is what I'm going to charge. And if you can't afford this, this is what I can provide you. And here's the thing is, if they're not ready today, who's to say in 3 months or 6 months they're not going to be ready? Or referrals, right? The number one referrals is people. So for me, it's about creating those rapport with people, creating that trust. So to me, even if I'm just meeting people for the first time, is getting to let them know who I am just as a human being. And that's what's happening right now. It's just like connecting with people, coming in other communities, going to church, and just meet. The more people you can meet and network, that's where the numbers go up because it's all about numbers. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good call out. Pro tip there for everyone, Nino, is look, if it's not going to be a good fit for the person that you're talking to right then and there, then they may know of somebody who's a good fit for what you offer. And so always ask. That's one of the, a big pro tip from Nino, huge pro tip. Like you're not getting off the phone until either they are committed or you know where they stand, or they at least give you someone that they know in their network who would be a good fit, right? Because that's a warm referral. And those, I've been in BNI and many other referral networking groups. Referrals are everything. Warm referrals are everything. Those are the most powerful forms of marketing. And so anything can do to leverage that. But we all often forget to ask, to Nino's point, the question of, hey, if you're not a good fit, no worries. Who do you know in your network who may be a good fit for this? And just ask the question, right? Ask the question, the power of the ask. It's very powerful. And so, yeah, good pro tip there, Nino. Really good stuff. All right, let's jump over to really appreciate you. And I want to acknowledge a few people in the audience here. So we got Mr. Dalio, we got Antonio. And guys, today's space is sponsored by Antonio. So thank you, Antonio. He runs Xscribe. It's an awesome service that can transcribe when I don't have the Zoom recording, I use Xscribe from Antonio, which will transcribe the space and then give it to me in a Word doc, and then I share it with my VA, and then she does all the social media. So thank you, Antonio, for sponsoring the space. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Anna. Anna, good to see you. Happy Thursday. Always good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Great interacting with you on the timeline yesterday. So thank you so much. We have Jane here as well. Jane is a 30-year registered nurse. She has a lot of expertise in cardiology, as well as she's on her journey to becoming a cybersecurity professional. So thank you, Jane, for being here. Always great to see you. And she's been a longtime friend in X Spaces. So thank you, Jane. We have Edwin here. Edwin is a leadership and communication advisor. He's a coach, executive coach. So definitely check him out. He's been a great guy on this platform, a good friend. He's bilingual, English and Spanish. So, but yeah, he's definitely a great guy to connect with. All around, very, excuse me, very good guy to connect with. So thank you, Edwin. We got Jay here. Jay, he's an awesome person on X as well. He hosts spaces in Ani's space and with many others. So thanks, Jay, for being here. I can't wait to see a picture of you without your helmet one day. So, but yeah, good to see you. And make sure you check out his newsletter, guys. He's on Beehive, so definitely check it out. We got John Carlos. John Carlos is an awesome person. Okay, let me tell you, John Carlos, he's a recent dad, and he's been sharing his journey with us about what it's like to implement AI and make it part of your life, but also making sure that you're being a present dad and a present parent, which is really much needed right now. So thank you, John Carlos, for that. Really loving your newsletter. And he's a fellow fractional executive, so he's a COO, Chief Operating Officer. I'm a CMO, which is a Chief Marketing Officer. So good to have you aboard, John Carlos, as always. Uh, we have Danielle here, the WTF lady. We have Yvonne here as well, uh, a founder, an actress, an entrepreneur. Just all around wonderful. We got wonderful women here. We got wonderful Ronins here today. So, and we got Nino here as well, of course. So yeah, a great group here. So thanks everyone for being here. Let's go over to Danielle, and then we'll go to Yvonne, and welcome to the stage, Taylor. All right, Danielle, over to you. Welcome.
Good morning. Yeah, you know what? I was trying to, with your permission, I wanted to share that YouTube video of me on that podcast, that clip that I had highlighted on LinkedIn that you were remarking, getting that takeaway. I met those people here on X, and it was through a woman that I met. I didn't even know them. She gave me to them, and next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, we want to have you on." We only talk about, I think they talk about like archaeology and stuff. Like I was completely outside of their base, right, when it came to that. But we kind of just clicked, and I'm like, "Let's go," right? So it was honestly, and this is a couple months old, such a great conversation. And so if you are okay with it, I'm gonna share it down there. These two guys are really, really cool. And it was just fun. And there was there was a lot of takeaways in that. I love doing podcast guesting. I'm preparing to relaunch the one that I had for myself. Looking for a little bit more hours in the day. If anybody finds hours, I know you're not going to share them because you need them for you, but but I'm on the search. Okay, I'm on the search, and if I find an abundance, I will share. But it was such a good conversation, and I love when I guest on podcasts that have a specific lane, and I am totally outside of it. It's just fun. It's fun to interact, especially because I don't even know them. They don't know me. We just know a little bit about each other, but it was great. But I'm looking at your success pyramid over here. Okay. And it is so true because the foundation is always going to start with ourselves, but the let me pull it back up. The power of the right timing can never be overlooked. That is so on target, Justin. I can't tell you how many clients or deals or whatever, even when I was doing the commercial real estate stuff, was just all about the timing. And it requires a lot of patience and faith and persistence. And, you know, even if there's a no, we all talk about it here. No means not now. Please finish that sentence, you know, and don't give up. But also don't spin your wheels and spend energy trying to convince a person, AKA the universe, that it has to happen your way on your timeline, because that really is a waste of energy. I've learned that the hard way. I sometimes slip back into default and do that, but today I just don't stay there as long because I know better and I don't want to waste anybody's time. And then I also know, like, it'll come back on. We don't control those things. We don't. We just keep showing up. We keep throwing it out there and we see what sticks. So just great to pop in. You know how much I adore you and everything that's going on. And, you know, I haven't heard from Andy in a long time. It's like usually on here, I hear him. I know I'm coming in a little late here. Slept in today. But Andy, I just wanna say publicly, I miss you. I miss your voice, and we'll have to get on a call or something. Maybe we'll plan it. And, yeah, guys, it's good to see everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Danielle. Good to see you. And yeah, definitely drop that clip below. I think, yeah, you are just like dominating LinkedIn right now. So, that other formula I want to share that you're really putting into practice is visibility plus credibility equals profitability, right? So if you're more being visible, on the timeline on LinkedIn, you're making comments and you're showing up and you have the credibility, which you have the track record and everything, and the profitability will come, right? The profitability will come. And that was a good call out as far as when you're talking to prospects, you want to make sure that the energy that you're putting out, everything is energy. You want to match the energy that you're putting out with, and is it being received? If it's not being received, then you need to move on to the next, right? So, you're going to go through a lot of next, next, next. And as you do this a long time, you're going to realize there's certain indicators that, sound your radars, you get that spidey sense that, oh, okay, they're not ready right now. No worries. I'm going to go on to the next one, right? So it's not that you're being pushy. It's being that you're being proactive and you're being assertive. You're not being aggressive, you're being assertive. And you want to pick up on that energy. And look, if someone's not ready, no worries. Next, next. And you do it respectfully, of course. But then, look, I've had people reach out, uh, years later, and they're like, hey, Justin, I'm finally ready to do some marketing. Okay, awesome. That's really great news to hear. And, we get them going, right? But years. So, you never know the timeline, which is why the success pyramid is really important. To just put into perspective, what's really important is the right timing is one of the most important things, but it starts with being the right you. You got to be right physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You got to be the right you in alignment. That's number one. Number two, the right knowledge. And knowledge is not power in my book. Okay. I don't know who taught you that growing up, but knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is true power. That's true power. You're applying the knowledge. And then the right vehicle is really important. It can be an IT business, it can be a marketing agency, it can be an e-commerce store, it can be a brick and mortar business, whatever, the right vehicle is for you and your business model. It can be a community, a paid community, and then the right timing is absolutely critical. So yeah, back over to you, Danielle, and then we'll go to Yvonne and then Stardust. And we got about 15 minutes left, so just plan accordingly here. Yep, go for it.
It's like That has been such a positive shift in the last couple of years for me. And whenever I practice it, because I don't practice it daily, because I am a human, I want to hold on to the reins tight. I want to control and I want to manufacture. And I have all these ideas and I'm executing the ideas. And it has been a pattern in my life consistently that when I just let go of those reins a little bit and I invite the flow of like whatever's going on around, that is really when things start to uptick. It's always the same thing. And that's what happened with this whole speaker thing. Not that I was like really pushing it last year, but I was mentioning it. And then as soon as I just like didn't focus so damn hard, it just existed and did, one or two like little, oh, blah, blah in front of somebody, then bam. And success breeds success. That really is the tricky part. And the same was true when I was doing the commercial real estate thing. As soon as like the right people, right, started talking about me, because the truth is we can talk about ourselves all day long, right? But as soon as you get a couple of people and they just are vocal about who you are, what you do, and how you've helped them, bam. Okay, like that's where it starts to go, and and you'll witness it when it happens, and then you get back on that bus and you start really guiding it. Okay, but I'm telling you, if you control and you stay so tight and you say something's not working or it's not working yet, just let it go a little bit. Like we got to relax. We burn out so quickly because we get frustrated because the timeline isn't our timeline, and it's just a pattern in my life that I just like let it go. You've put it out there. You don't give up. You just don't get so obsessed about stuff. And then, boom. And success breeds success. It's just the way I'm on now like weekly conversations getting hired for speaking. I had no idea this would happen. And now it's like, do I have time to coach? like seriously. And here's the thing. I just started getting really good at what I was doing, and now I'm back to now I'm in another lane, and I don't know speaking as a business. I understand how to speak and get in front of people, and I'll prepare for that all day long. But this is a business, and now I'm like, shit, I'm back in kindergarten. It's like I have to figure out who and what and how to do that and hire people around that. And but it's all just, just don't hold on so tight. When we find ourselves, we get twisted. It's so easy to get twisted. It will come. Just show up with consistency and authenticity.
Yeah, the full-time speaking circuit's not a bad gig, Danielle, and the coaching, you can get to that and prioritize that accordingly. But yeah, definitely focus and lean in on the momentum and the high ticket. And yeah, I think that's when momentum really starts to take shape is when others are really promoting you, right? And others are introducing you into opportunities like, hey, we got to get Danielle in here. We got to get her on stage. She's doing great work. The pivot method is working for a lot of people. And it's timing too. Look, I mean, it's no secret that forced entrepreneurship is a thing. It's a reality right now that we have to deal with. You got this open call that's, basically creating other fellow AI agents that, is the main agent is managing. I mean, it's incredible times. But you have to embrace change. And that's where I think a lot of people, and I went through multiple rounds of layoffs at a company one time, and I was sitting in the boardroom with the COO, and he's like, Justin, why do you think you're still here? This is after like 3 or 4 rounds of layoffs. And I said, because I embrace change. He's like, exactly. And so if you don't embrace change, okay, guys, like it's gonna catch up with you, right? You have to be adaptable, you have to be nimble, and both in corporate and in your personal life. And the more you embrace change, the better the outcomes will be, in my experience. If you fight change, if you don't want to change, if you stay in your comfort zone, you know, you're comfortable, the change will come upon you whether you like it or not. So be proactive. And yeah, so all right, let's go to Yvonne here, and then we'll go to Taylor, and then Stardris, and we'll start wrapping up here. Another great one for the books here, guys. But I want to leave room for final word. So yeah, Yvonne, over to you. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Yeah, I wanted to share. I sent you a DM about it when you're talking about forced entrepreneurship and how quickly times are changing. And it does tie back to the topic, like, what is your plan? And someone posted something out. I think it's the CEO, the AI CEO of Microsoft, literally had an interview recently and said in the next 12 to 18 months, all basically like white collar jobs will potentially be wiped out, right? 12 to 18 months, they could potentially be gone. And I'm sharing that, right? I'm not a doom and gloom person, as you guys know. I'm always about leveling people up and always having the positive perspective. But it comes back to how you were saying, forced entrepreneurship. It comes back to like, what is your plan, right? Like, even if you have a secure job with something like that right now, you're going to have to do some kind of pivot. I was on Gary Cardone does these live streams on Sundays, which I absolutely love for mindset and stuff. He calls it I Am, and it's really, really great. Just like his stream of consciousness talking about things. And one of the things that he said there, he's like, imagine if you found out that you only had a year left to live, right? And that can be a little doom and gloom. Like, I try not to think about something like that because I don't want to manifest it and make it real. But if you thought about something like that, how much would your perspective change on what your goals are or what you haven't done yet? I guarantee you, if you knew you only had that much time left, you would light a fire on your butt to get things done. And I feel like this CEO putting that particular statement out with what's happening with AI, that's kind of like another way to utilize that as a tool to be like, wow, 12 to 18 months, so many of these jobs that maybe a lot of people have even gone to college, to get professions in, could potentially be gone. So it is a time for pivot, right? It is a time, now is the time before that happens. And it all comes back to personal branding, right? Because people are always going to want to work with other people. Humans love humans, even though I know humans are complaining about humans all the time, but that is part of the fundamental core of who we are as human beings, right? That's why we love watching other human beings. Like when you go to a restaurant and you sit outside and you're kind of people watching, right? That's not an AI thing. Even though AI is amazing, we're always going to want to have that human component. So it really is important to make sure that you know, what do you really want? What are you, now is the time to really think about that. What do you want? Where do you want to be 12 months from now with the world that is changing so dynamically? Really sit down and think about that for yourself, because you can't wait anymore. We're at a time now where you cannot wait anymore. I mean, and no matter where it is that you're at and what you're doing, like yesterday, I didn't get a lot of administration. I didn't get a lot of building stuff done, like with my business directly, but I was building my body. I did a lot of personal treatment type things and stuff, right? Like my red light therapy and stuff. I wasn't feeling 100% yesterday because I'm having some of those health issues, as you know, Justin, same as you. So I'm battling those. But even though I wasn't feeling that great, like later in the day, I started to feel better. And, I've had in the past where that's happened, and I would beat myself up and get so damn mad, especially because it's something that's beyond my control, like Danielle said, right? But I was like, I don't even care if it's late now. If I can do nothing else, I'm going to freaking work out, because that's part of my overall plan to me getting me to my destination of the main plan of the goal that I'm aiming for. So even if I just had a kick-ass workout for an hour and a half, and I didn't get a bunch of other things done throughout that day, then I'm still moving forward toward that plan. And that's the main thing that I just kind of want to pound home, because it's something that's really solidified with me. And I'll end with this point, is that consistency, right? Everybody's in for the shiny object syndrome. Hollywood is all freaking about that. I'm totally all about that. But you have to remind yourself every day, in the shadows, in the darkness, thinking of the athletes, like Andy was talking about before. I said to my father, we see them on the ice, we see them doing their thing, and they're at the peak of their game when we're watching them, and they're like, wow, that's so amazing. Like, we see the end result of all of the work that they've done throughout the years, but we don't see all of the work throughout the years. Like, I was like, there needs to be a documentary on this, so you don't just see the end result, because you don't know how many times they fell trying to do those triple calsows and all these other kind of things on the ice and stuff like that. And it's in the silence, it's in the darkness when nobody else is watching, where you're really building, and then your star begins to shine in the mainstream. So no matter what you're building, no matter what you're doing, number one, know your plan, know your destination, know where you want to go. Make a 1-year goal for yourself and build, even if it's a small thing, every single day, one thing toward that plan. At least you're not just floating in the middle of the ocean trying to hope you're going to land somewhere. Everything that you're doing with that one day is an intention toward that goal. And it's not always going to be thrilling. It's not always going to be exciting. But as long as you have that end goal in mind and you know that you can at least do one thing toward heading that mark, then it'll happen. And then the momentum and everything will build with that. So I'll just land with that.
Yeah, thanks, Yvonne. Yeah, that part about, so it all starts in my book, and hopefully you'll agree with this, is knowing who we are first. Like, people don't know what they want because they don't know who they truly are. So once you discover who you really are, then you can figure out exactly what you want to do. Okay. And it takes people a long time to nail this, and it can change. Okay. It can really change, but the only change, it's happening more rapidly, right? It's happening more rapidly. The amount of change that's happening, it's accelerating, right? So we may have had to reinvent ourselves every 10 years in the past. Okay, I'm 40, how old am I? 45. So, I've had to reinvent myself multiple times. Okay, multiple times. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with reinventing yourself. But first, you got to know who you are and then who you're supposed to serve. And a pro tip here is this Ikigai, which again stems from Japanese culture. There's a reason why the Revenue Ronin brand is all around like Japanese culture. There's a purpose here, guys, I promise. But it's the Ikigai, and it's basically, you know, think of the Ikigai as the middle, and then around that, it's what you love doing, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. So when you have a circular cohesion of an overlap of some of these things, that's your Ikigai. That's where you have your passion, your vocation, everything matches up. Yeah, people are willing to pay for that. You've tested it in the marketplace. So this is the model right here. Like, find out exactly who you are, find out your Ikigai, and then just, build an audience, build community, build your newsletter, email list, and then just continue to serve people. And don't just think of it online. You got to take it offline as well. Really important, right? Think globally, but act locally. And you got to get out into your local community, your local network. Go to some networking groups. Go do some face-to-face events. Those still work. So yeah, good reminder, Yvonne. Again, it all starts with, you know, who we're being, who we are as a person, and then that will help dictate, okay, this is what I need to be doing because this is, who I am as a person. So thank you for that reminder, Yvonne. And guys, check out Yvonne's newsletter. I hope it was okay to share it here, Yvonne. But I pinned it up above, the Acting University, TAU for short, but it's called the Acting University. And she's really bringing some good perspectives on, for creators. It's really helpful to see through the lens of in the entertainment space and the acting world, because she brings a lot of knowledge. She's been an actress, so she has a lot of unique perspectives, and tying it in with, building a business. And yeah, really a great newsletter to subscribe to. So thank you, Yvonne, for that. Make sure you guys subscribe to Yvonne's newsletter, and then also check out Danielle's short clip that I shared, or her full YouTube video that she put up there. So okay, well, I think Andy may have to leave, and then maybe we'll go a couple more minutes extra because I want to hear from Taylor. But yeah, Andy, over to you.
Yeah, I do have to leave. I was going to say that, I love the Olympics, but remember, every one of those athletes, most of the time, when they're practicing, it's before everybody else gets up. It's after everybody's gone to bed. They're doing things above and beyond. It's not, we see, like the hockey players, they're professional athletes. They're great. But you know what? That means to be a professional hockey player in any league, that means that they started when they were 7, 8 years old. Most of them moved out of the house when they were 12, and they lived in these traveling junior leagues in Canada and in Europe, and they spent from 12 years old till they're 18 living in somebody else's house, going to practice every day, going to school. The sacrifice that the athletes make to become the very, very best is beyond what most people understand, right? The swimmers get up at 4 a.m. and swim for 2 or 3 hours and then go to school or work all day and then go swim again and then go to home, go to bed, get up, do it again. Every day, every single day. No days off, right? Michael Phelps said, all you have to do is swim, 4 or 5 hours a day. He says, but you do it every single day for 6 years. Every single day. He said he never missed a workout from the time he was like 16 until he retired, which was in his 30s. So for 15 years, 365-day Christmas, holidays, vacations, he didn't miss a workout. Not one workout. He's the greatest athlete, Olympic, medalist ever. But look at the sacrifice he did. Listen to what he talks about today. Listen to the struggle that he went through, right? The world is changing, and it's pretty easy to see. You can look in Isaiah, you can look in Daniel, you can look in Matthew, you can look in Mark, you can look in Revelation. Here's what's going to happen. The world is going to continue to have wars, rumors of wars, conflicts, challenges, and constant change. And the become more frequent, more intense, and faster. And that is what's going to happen. You need to be right now in your mind imagining, how can I adapt to whatever tomorrow brings? COVID happened, boom, the world went remote. Then, AI happened, and now the world is remote, and maybe the world doesn't need all of our jobs. Guess what? Too bad. Deal with it. Pivot. Figure out something to do it, right? Figure out some way that you can provide services from the gifts that you have that God gave you. That's what you have to do. And I'm in the middle of a pivot right now, right? Government contracting is decreasing, becoming more of a commodity. They're decreasing prices. They're squeezing budgets. There's all kinds of things going on. It may not be worth it to keep doing that. I may have to pivot my entire business, and I'm going to. So, no one is immune. No one. Nobody is immune. Everyone is affected. Everyone. I guess that's all I have to say. Here's the thing. The sun came up today. You've been given another opportunity. That's it. Take it.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Yeah, breathing and billing is what it's. Excuse me. What's all? Please jump in here. Taylor, welcome. I'm coughing here. Welcome. Thank you, Andy. Taylor, jump in here for a minute or two as we're wrapping up. How's it going? Welcome.
It's going great. I just love everything I've heard so far, and Danielle, I really can't relate to everything she's talked about. Hers and my industries are worth over $400 billion in sales this year globally. So it's a really great. The wellness industry it's a really great time to enter it. But as people have said, like as a psychic medium, I found something that I love doing more than I love sleeping, and so as someone was saying, Olympic athletes are up in the morning doing this. They're out late at night. I remember doing that, starting at 8 a.m. and not finishing until midnight and being pissed off before I could get back to work doing more readings the next day. And then when I woke up the next day, it was like, bam, I'm already, and I've got like a lineup of people waiting. And here was the problem, after about 8 years of that, pretty solid, I got burned out. There are only 76 archetypes in mankind. And there's only so many times you can read that archetype and be right, and it be thrilling. You know what I'm saying? So you really can get burned out at anything, any kind of art, anything you're doing. But you know, I can't stress enough that when you find something you love, it is going to be worth what you charge. And if you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, then it'll have the type of effect, not only on you, your finances, but on yourself. And I wanted to throw in too, Justin, that, I've had over the years, people approach me, and you don't have to be psychic to tell when someone sincerely needs help and when someone just wants to test your ability. And it's fine if you just want to test my ability. It's quite a claim. I claim to know the future. I claim to speak to the dead. That's, I need to be ready to back that up. So, it's fine, but it's like I did a pro bono reading for someone one year, and, it was an hour long. I don't even remember what I said, but she ended up being, she was like somebody that did eyebrows for Jessica Alba. I never read for Jessica, but it was like she has friends all over the place. One of them came in and paid full price for an hour and tipped me $2,000. So if you're doing what you love, it's okay to do those things that you think may not pan out. That, it's all about sincerity for me. So when someone approached me sincerely needing help, it's easy to go ahead and do the readings. But I'm just saying, when it comes to self-promotion, you got to be willing to do the free stuff too. To me, it's like, if I'm not willing to give it away when it's time, I'll never make any money at it.
Yeah, some great points there, Taylor. Yeah, nice to connect with you. And yeah, like your timing is everything, right? So yeah, there's certain times where, you can do a giveaway. You can offer, a service for complimentary or in exchange for a testimonial or whatever, right? Like, you can, and just be calculated and strategic. Obviously, don't do it all the time. But to your point, there may be some opportunities that come from that obviously you weren't expecting. And sometimes you just feel compelled. Like I felt this recently with Raquel, um, my buddy on LinkedIn and in San Diego here. And I was talking to her, and I found out that, she's been doing this podcast for like a year with the youth, and she was making zero revenue. And I was like shocked. I was like, "You've been doing this a year and you've brought in zero?" And I felt compelled to give her a free coaching session, which I charge $600 an hour, so $300 value. I said, "You know what? Let's get on a call." And so I got on a call with her, and boom, really changed the trajectory for her. And now she's got her Beehive newsletter. Now she's talking about offers. She's putting together a mastermind community with the youth and the parents. And that's what it's all about. Like, sometimes, to your point, Taylor, is we gotta, just do something out of the kindness of our heart because, we're compelled to do it. It's our calling. It's part of our calling. Like, this is missionary work that we're doing. Like, we have gifts. Like, Taylor has a gift. Yvonne has gifts. I have a gift. Nino has a gift. We all have gifts. And when you're in alignment with who you're being, and you have the opportunity to impact others, it's going to come back tenfold. That's what we call karmic business. So, but yeah, great stuff, Taylor. Really enjoyed connecting with you. I gave you a follow back, and we're wrapping up the space now, guys. So I'm sorry, Stardust. We'll get you tomorrow, man. I got to run. But we went a little bit extra today. Appreciate your understanding. And yeah, shout out to everyone down below, all the listeners, really great friends I see in the audience here. Anna, Antonio, Jane, Heather, Mr. Dalio, VR, Jane, Edwin, Butterfly, 311, that 311 band. I always love the 311 group. So good to see you, Butterfly. Stardust, again, thank you. Taylor for speaking as well, and Nino, and I really appreciated it. So yeah, we'll go final word over to Yvonne, and then I'll close this out, guys. And before I pass it over to Yvonne, make sure you guys take a look at this pinned post that I shared above. So these are my favorite Japanese-inspired concepts that really help shape the Revenue Ronin brand and can help you. So it's called Kaizen, which is the practice of continuous small improvements in processes or life. Ikigai, which we talked about, that's our reason for being, the intersection of passion, mission, vocation, and profession, what makes life worth living. And then Wabi-Sabi, which is finding beauty in imperfection, impermanence, and the simple weathered aspects of life. So those are some helpful Japanese terms that really resonate with me. And the brand that we're building together, we're building $1 million brand here live. Like if you're in this space, the Revenue Ronin brand is going to be $1 million brand. And you're on the journey with, I mean, you're helping build it. It's not me, it's we. We're building it together. So I have a 5-year plan. This is the start of year 3. Okay, so stick with me, stick with us as we continue to develop the Revenue Ronin brand, what it stands for, the mission. The mission is very clear. It's 1,000 Ronins. 1,000 Ronins focused on sales and marketing mastery, right? It's not sales and marketing, it's sales and marketing mastery. Okay, that mastery has something behind it. And, I've been mastering sales and marketing for over 25 years. This is my path. This is my journey. This is my calling. This is my vocation. And I'm bringing 1,000 people with me. So buckle up. All right, Yvonne, over to you. Final word.
Woohoo! I love it, man. I love that I'm part of the journey. I am so freaking here for it. I'm building a multi-million-dollar personal brand, by the way, you guys, which is so freaking possible. Now is the time to freaking do that with myself and with my company. I'm building $1 billion company. I'm just putting that out there because I decided that for myself, because why not aim for the freaking stars, right? Because then you will level yourself up, knowing what you're building, doing it one day at a time. Thank you for sharing the newsletter. I'm finally starting my company newsletter. I'm finally starting to put that out there and promote that. As you know, I've been building it in silence in the past because I like to have everything, all my ducks in a row, but it's time to start getting that out there because I want everybody to level up. And if you're a content creator, if you're here on the platform, so many people are putting themselves on camera now. So many people are in the public eye. So a lot of these things, even though it's catered to actors, it applies to a lot of people who are starting to put themselves in the public eye on social media, whether you're putting yourself on camera. I'm dropping an article today called Camera Magic, and it's all about subtle performances and how they dominate the screen and how the lens amplifies truth, you guys, putting yourself on camera, because that's why I'm hardcore working out and doing all the stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes, because I'm going to be putting myself on camera more too. And then I'll also just share, speaking of revenue, right, and being a revenue Ronin, I love those things that you dropped, Justin. I love seeing some of the fundamental principles behind the brand. That's really cool. I so dig that because I'm in alignment with that. Is that Ani and I are going to be doing a 3-day creator content and personal branding challenge. It's going to be 3 days, $100 for the 3 days. Just sharing this. We're going to be dropping it in the next couple weeks. Getting signups, and it's basically for anybody who's starting out, or maybe you hit a lull time, right? You need a little amplification. Maybe you want to expand where you're at outside of X. I love X, but you got to be broad with all those kind of things. And we're going to hardcore dive into a lot of that stuff, and I'm really freaking pumped about it. It is going to be so freaking packed with value, absolutely off the charts. And I'll land with saying, you guys, with whatever it is that your goal is that you're aiming for, imagine for yourself today. I'm just do a quick little, imaginary act. Imagine for yourself today, because a lot of times we say, oh, I want this thing in 12 months or whatever. And then all of a sudden, all these obstacles start coming up in our mind. Like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to do this? Whatever that goal is, like, I love that, Taylor, you kind of sparked this. Imagine seeing yourself right now, today, in your imagination for 10 minutes. Imagine yourself living that life of what it is that you're building and working toward in the present moment. Like, imagine if that was your day today, that you were living in and day out. And what does that look like for you? Because a lot of times people don't even allow themselves to imagine it. So put yourself there, feel what that really feels like when you're in that position, when you're in that place, and really allow yourself to go there and feel that. If you want to get inspired, I guarantee you that will light a fire under your butt. And I recommend doing that every day as much as possible. So this is just your friendly reminder, see that life that you want to live and imagine yourself living that now, because it is absolutely possible. So go out there, crush it. And thanks again, Justin, for the amazing space. Yvonne's here is reminding you, don't ever let anybody dim your light. We'll see you next time.
Oh, can I just finish something really quick? She's mentioned something. The saying goes, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
Yes, love it, Taylor. Thank you, man. And yeah, thank you, Yvonne. And yeah, if you and Ani are looking for sponsors, hit me up on the back channel. I would love to sponsor the event if it's the right price point. I'm considering sponsoring Christelle's event. I'd maybe love to sponsor your guys' event. I like sponsoring, ex-creators, what they're doing, things that they're doing, events, stuff like that. So just putting it out there. Hit me on the back channel for that. But yeah, love your closing thoughts there, Yvonne. And yeah, guys, another good one for the books here. Thank you again, Taylor. Nice to connect with you and all my other friends down below. Just remember, guys, at the end of our lives, we'll ask ourselves 4 simple questions. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? And did I make a difference? Until next time, keep making a difference. Build that mind, build that body, build that business, build that bank account, but most importantly, build that legacy. So stay healthy, stay hungry, and stay humble. We'll see you guys at the top. If you want to keep growing, check out the Revenue Ronin community. We've had over 40 people sign up in the paid community. You could be number 41. Prices are going up. Shocking news, breaking news. Prices are going up. So lock in now at these low affordable rates. It's only going to increase because of time, supply and demand, and my time. And yeah, let's make it a productive, but most importantly, profitable day. And I'll leave you with this outro music.
In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing who answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders, 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com.